Joe Dunham with Iraq Veterans Against the War. I thank you all for coming out. I only put the message out for this rally on Tuesday. So I'm really excited all of you guys are here to show some love and support for Bradley Manning. We all know the guy's an American hero. Just to give kind of a background in case you didn't know, he's the guy that's accused of leaking the collateral murder video to WikiLeaks, and he's also been accused of delivering the 200,000 plus documents to WikiLeaks from the U.S. Embassy cables. I apologize, I kind of have a cold. I did a lot of yelling yesterday. I hope all of you guys did too. But yesterday, for as much fun as we had marching around, it was also a very tragic day. The United States started bombing Libya yesterday. This is an announcement. There's going to be a rally tomorrow at 4 o'clock at Terry Shrunk Plaza. That's right across from the Federal Building. Come on out, bring some signs. When we do these protests, some people tend to forget, but one of the reasons we're out there is to educate the public about what we're doing, why we're out here, why it's important for us to be out here. So if you can bring a sign saying don't bomb Libya, or that we've started bombing Libya, your tax dollars are being used to kill people in Libya, those sort of things, those are important for people to realize so that they understand the horror of what's involved here. Speaking of horror, we all know what's going on with Bradley Manning. He's been in jail now for 300 days. Incarcerated. The last 3 weeks he's been held naked, as far as I understand. They take away his reading glasses. They don't let him do any exercise except for 1 hour a day. When he's exercising, he's in shackles.
In a room by himself?
Yeah, he's in a room by himself, except for the guards who come by every 5 minutes and knock on his door and say, "Are you okay? I need a verbal response." If he doesn't respond, the guards go into his cell and they check on him. And I can tell you, in the military, I mean, you manhandle people. You don't just tap them on the shoulder and say, "Hey, brother, are you all right? You need some help?" It's not that easy. You know what's going on with this guy. He's beaten up psychologically, physically, and the reason they were doing this to him was so that they could try and prove that Bradley Manning himself was encouraged by Julian Assange, because the target for our government is Julian Assange. They want to shut down WikiLeaks. And we know that WikiLeaks played a role in the uprising in Tunisia. Tunisia had been having an uprising for some time, but when the cables came out, the Tunisian people stood up against their government. When they realized the truth of what their government was doing, they stood up. Freedom is brought by truth, not by violence. And that's why we need to educate people. What happened in Tunisia inspired the people of Egypt. And what happened in Egypt inspired the people of Libya and Iran and all of North Africa. All the people who are fighting for the freedom in the world, for freedom for themselves, fighting against oppression. We can thank Bradley Manning for that. I mean, with each person is sacrificing a little bit. Each person is sacrificing, but Bradley Manning is paying one hell of a sacrifice right now. He didn't die in the streets of Egypt like 365 people did, but every day he deals with so much hell that I can't wrap my head around it. So I want to thank you all for being out here. I want to invite up anybody who wants to speak, to say some words about Bradley Manning. If anybody would like to, come on up. Like I said, there's going to be a rally tomorrow at 4 p.m. at Terry Shrunk Plaza. There's also going to be a rally tomorrow at Directors Park for Bradley Manning. There's going to be a march involved there, so if any of you are free tomorrow and you'd like to come out and support Bradley Manning some more, it's real easy. Just come on out to Director Park.
Make sure the people know
12 o'clock.
Oh yeah, Directors Park is at noon. It's
12 o'clock.
Yeah.
At the Fox Tower, right there on the other side.
Thank you.
12 o'clock, 12:30 march with a direct action at the end. So.
After we have some speakers today, I'm going to get everybody lined up on these stairs over here, and we're going to take a photo. And after the photo, we're going to send it up to Bradley Manning's lawyer, who's told me that we'll be able to get that Bradley Manning band. So all of you guys will be able to support Bradley Manning just by telling them, you know, we love you, we want to help you.
I'm Michael Mayo. I'd like to give you the good news that the State Coordinating Committee of the Pacific Green Party of Oregon has unanimously endorsed this rally. And we're with you all the way. But that's not the main reason I'm here to talk to you. I'd just like to tell you From my own experience, for I spent 2 years in federal penitentiary myself during the Vietnam War. I would like to tell you that how is it that we have Bradley Manning being tortured by the United States government? How is that? What is it that goes on that would make the United States torture its own citizens? Well, it is a case, and it's something that's happened in our country, as we know from Vietnam, but it happened in Germany, it happened in England, it happened in lots of countries with empires in history. That when there is a foreign war, when there is a war where the country is engaged in oppressing and bombing and shooting other people abroad, why then that war comes home. All of the constitutional regulations, all of the Bill of Rights, they don't mean a whole lot because we're too much engaged in that war. And the war, little by little, takes away your rights that you had as a constitutional republic. And it makes it into a tyranny.
Here.
That's what we have to do, is we have to stop going to war. Well, the bad news, of course, is that we just started another one.
My name is Bill Mictum, and I'm a citizen. I live downtown. Hence, it's very easy to get here. And I'm so glad you came to my neighborhood. I want to make a suggestion, which is something I have already done, and that is for each person to write to their 2 senators and their representative saying that they must repudiate the policies of Barack Obama if they want your vote. And as I did, I not only said that, I said I would actively work against their election if they did not repudiate Obama. And I listed the wars, the destruction of civil rights, the torture of Bradley Manning, etc. All the things that we all know are going on. So that's really what I want to insist, that people realize that there is no lesser. They are both evil. Thank you.
I just want to say something. My name is Mike Hasty, and I was a medic in Vietnam. And I personally think that Bradley Manning is probably one of the most heroic figures that's ever been born in this country. He's the Daniel Ellsberg of today. There's no difference. Absolutely no difference, you know. And he's trying to expose the lies, and of course, that footage where it shows the American helicopter, shooting those civilians. And I'm a very visual person. I do a lot of photojournalism, and I think that if anything, we need to get that short version of that event and put it on a DVD and send out thousands of those things, because when I was in Vietnam, I was experiencing the rapid disintegration of American involvement in Vietnam. So I was seeing the homicides, the suicides, the rampant heroin addiction, shootouts, accidents, racial violence. I was seeing it all fall apart. I was in a unit that had 3 fire bases, and on those fire bases were 155 millimeter howitzers, and those rounds stood about up to my waistline. Okay, and they were probably 10 inches in diameter. And those 155 millimeter howitzers fired into 3 fire zones. Okay, I can remember one day we got an American soldier that was brought in by helicopter, and he got too close to the recoil of one of those 155 millimeter howitzers, and it just took half his face off. So, Bradley Manning is exposing the lies, and I'm a firm believer that lying is the most powerful weapon in war. It is the most powerful weapon in war. And I cannot say enough about what this man has done. I think all of us today are Bradley Mannings. I really believe that we're all interconnected in what this man did.
That's right.
And I'm not sure to what next level we need to take this, But I would say that one of the things I think we could do is to try to put out as many of those DVDs where it shows the American helicopters killing those people. How many people have seen that? How many people have seen that footage? It's probably about half. And that's what needs to get out, you know. And so anyway, I'm just grateful to be here. I'm so glad that everybody's here, and I'm so glad for what Joe Dunn has done. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I got another speaker I wanted to introduce, Bethany Say. She was the original organizer of this event. I contacted her looking to work together to get this out. So I really thank her. She's the one who dropped the word initially and contacted the Bradley Maine Support Network and set up a Facebook page for this event. So really, this is her rally.
Well, I actually have a little bit of speech about him, so let me tell a little bit about myself. I'm Bethany.
Joe, help her with this.
Yeah, hold it to the, speak to the bottom of it.
Okay. I was with my mom and dad, and they were all talking about Bradley Manning, and I didn't know who he was. So I started looking at it, stuff like that. I saw the war video, and I was thinking that wasn't right. You know, if Bradley Manning is a hero, then why is the government keeping him like this? Why would the government keep doing this to him if he wants to expose the truth about this? We have the right to know. I think Bradley Manning's a hero. Don't you guys?
Yeah.
He's a veteran, not only to serve this country, but to save it. We the people need to rise against the government and tell them enough is enough. We have the right to know about what goes on with the war and behind the scenes. If I saw something that wasn't right and was going to harm others, I would try to stop it. You would. I mean, wouldn't you? Can I get her? So why are they holding Bradley Manning like a dog in a cage, forced nude and no exercise? They're threatening to kill him for something that is going to save our lives. What if that was your son, your daughter, your wife, or your husband? You would fight till you die. I mean, I would. If that was my mom in jail, I would do everything I could. I would die for my mom because, you know, she was going to be a hero like that. I mean... And so here we are, united as one to fight for a worthy cause. And if we don't fight now, this generation will fall and affect the future generations like me. So,
Kill it, girl.
So I want you guys to just put everything you can into this because you know what? If we don't fight now, we're gonna have no freedom, no right.
Come on.
And the war will take over our lives. And we'll have to be getting up every morning for jobs, paying and stuff for the war. You guys think that's right? No? Well, exactly, so we need to fight it.
We got a 17-minute video from an Apache helicopter, and the government craps its pants. A 17-minute video from an 8-year war. I'm not very... Occupation, there you go, that's a better word. I'm not sure, I'm not too good at math, I'm not sure how many times you can put 17 minutes. There we are. I'm not sure how many times you can put 17 minutes in 8 years, but it's a lot. And there's a lot more than one Apache flying around the Middle East. And there's a lot more than one engagement every day. So, is that better? Yeah. All right. There's a lot more than one Apache flying around the Middle East. One Apache that you bought. You paid for it. You paid for the weapons. You paid for all of it. You probably don't want to, but that's democracy for you. Most people don't want this war, but somehow your elected officials manage to keep it ongoing and perpetual. 84%, last I heard, 84% of the American public doesn't believe that the war in Afghanistan is worth fighting. The only people who seem to believe that are our elected officials, and our bankers, and our corporations. It's not worth it. War is a racket. Has been, probably always will be.
Speaking of War is a Racket, I have, I don't know how many of you might have gotten a copy of War is a Racket, the book, from me in the past. But I have more copies of it. If you're interested, stop on by after this is over with, and I'll give you a copy. It's written by Smedley Butler. Just to give you a little bit of idea of who that man was. He was a United States Marine Corps general with 2 stars. He also had 2 Medals of Honor. He fought combat operations all throughout the world. He came back after leaving the Marine Corps, and he spoke out against the war. And he was one of the most powerful speakers this country's ever seen, one of the most powerful military leaders this country's ever seen. And that book, it personally changed my life. It's what gave me the inspiration to do what I do now. It's what propelled me out of the military mindset into being an activist and having to speak up and tell the truth about this country and about war. I don't know what gave Bradley Mann the inspiration, but man, I wish I could find it. Because I mean, that guy has done so much. So.
Okay, I have to agree with everyone that's been talking, especially about this helicopter video, because very few people that I know, like obviously at least 50% of people here have seen it, which isn't even enough, but very few people that I know that actually even think, people that truly care and are anti-war will not watch this video because they're like, oh, it's too sad, I just can't watch that. That is bullshit. Oh, sorry, we're not supposed to cuss. But it is. They are fully responsible for this. Our tax dollars are paying for those bullets. They are paying for those bullets. It is our responsibility to stop this war. And exposing a war crime should not be a crime. It is insane that Bradley Manning is being punished right now. So we need to get together and force people to watch this video. They need to see what's going on. It's disgusting how sanitized war has become in this country. It's disgusting. And we export wars to other places in the world so we can have our happy little lives here. And that's unfair and totally wrong, and we need to force people to watch this, and I think we should rent a screen and broadcast it in Pioneer Square. That's what I think we should do. I looked it up, it costs about $600. I think we could pull it together. I will take out a credit card and do it myself. So if anyone wants to help me, let me know. Thanks.
One of my new personal favorite quotes is, in a time of global deceit, telling the truth becomes a crime. That was actually written by George Orwell, the author of 1984. This should spawn some interest for most of us. Not only did we see the collateral murder video, we've also learned that our government has lied to us about many things around the globe. We know that DynCorp, a government contractor, has been involved in 3 child sex slavery operations now, and they were just awarded another $26 million contract this past October. Nobody seems to want to talk about the actual facts that we're learning. Join us, folks. We're discussing the universal deceit of our government around the globe, and how the people exposing it are being put in prison. President Obama has now jailed more government whistleblowers than every other president in history combined. This should tell us something.
Come on down!
We were promised transparency, and we were given the jailing of every government whistleblower that has stepped forward since Obama has taken office. This is no longer a Republican issue. This is no longer a Democratic issue. This is a we, the people issue. We need to get Bradley Manning out of the conditions that he is sitting in right now. Thank you.
My name's Hans Michael, and thanks for this opportunity to come together and stand for Bradley Manning. Just one fact that maybe you missed in the newspapers: on St. Patrick's Day, our Congress gave us a pretty crappy president by voting to continue the Afghanistan war. This included 3 representatives from Oregon, David Wu, Earl Blumenauer, Kurt Schrader, at least one of those a member of the Democratic Progressive Caucus in Congress, voting for war.
All voted yay.
Democrat, Republican, this is not an issue of party. This is an issue of what's right and wrong, and what is wrong is this war, to keep it continuing. It is bankrupting this country, and our representatives right here in Portland are voting for it, for this bankrupt. We need to hold them accountable. Again, thank you all for showing up today. Thank you, Bradley Manning, for standing up for us all.
Hello, come on, let's care about our country, you know? And so, I wanted to say free Bradley Manning. So, would you join me on saying free Bradley Manning together? Yeah. Free Bradley Manning! Free Bradley Manning! Free